Welcome to another edition of the DJ Roscoe Sports Show for this Thursday, November 6th, 2025, coming live Playful State here in Dallas, Pennsylvania. This week, if it's Thursday, it must have been Man with Sports Talk right here on the DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Very happy with you once again. Happy Friday, Junior. And it's getting a little cold out there. And it's also bleak and gets dark very early at like 5 o'clock. Sometimes 4:30 it's starting to get dark out because the clocks have turned an hour back. So it's, where's it going? Very bleak when I pick up the kids from school off their bus at about 4 p.m. with our beautiful Haley dog, our puppy, and then about a half hour later, it's dark outside and it feels like it's midnight. So I instantly want to go to bed. So it's nuts with that, but we're going to get through it, and before long, it'll be springtime. I already saw the Yankees. I know I'm a sick pup for mentioning this, because baseball just ended with the World Series. Congrats to the Dodgers, win back-to-back World Series titles, coming back to beat the Blue Jays in the World Series. Yankees' first spring training game is on February 20th. And then they have opening day on March 25th on Netflix exclusive against the San Francisco Giants in California. So there's under 100 days till pitchers and catchers report. So yay! Hallelujah, hallelujah. And hopefully you went out and voted on Tuesday. Let your voice be heard in our democracy. That's important. And you see I have my Oi to the World, my Hanukkah sweater, because before you know it, it's going to be a holiday season. A little bit too early for some, though, because not Magic 93, that's usually like middle of November, which is early enough, but 92.1 in the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area, the radio station, the day after Halloween, we had a nice, safe, spooky Halloween with lots of candy and lots of mom and dad tax taking your kids' candy when they're asleep, especially if it's Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the best candy in the world in my mind. Maybe they'll give me some free ones for endorsing them. But the next day, November 1st, they started Christmas music and holiday music. That's too early. In a perfect world, I'd be fine with Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. You start doing your holiday shopping. Then you can start playing holiday music for a month. But no. Now, it's like Magic 93 is usually middle of November. 92.1, the local radio station, November 1st. I think at midnight, as soon as Halloween was over, snapped right into Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. So it went from the Monster Mash, and 2 seconds later it was Santa Claus is coming to town and Feliz Navidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I'm like, it just was Halloween 2 seconds ago, and now we have Christmas. But I get off my soapbox. Hopefully you like my Oi to the World Hanukkah sweater. I think it looks pretty spiffy. But we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But yes, we want to congratulate the Los Angeles Dodgers winning back-to-back World Series titles. First team to do it since the Yankees three-peated, almost four-peated in 1998, 99, and 2000. That dynasty, Derek Jeter and Joe Torre-led Yankees team almost won in 2001 against the Diamondbacks. Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, and Luis Gonzalez, the game we hit off Mariano Rivera, put a stop to that. But the Dodgers, first team to repeat as World Series champions in 25 years. So congrats to the Dodgers. They had to come back because they were down 3-2 when we last left you last week on the show. They had to go on the road to Toronto, Canada again, and they won Game 6, 3-1. Another dominant performance by eventual World Series MVP Yamamoto. And then in Game 7, he got the win again in relief on no day's rest after he just pitched another magnificent stellar gem the night before. They were down 3-0 after the Bo Bichette big-time 3-run homer for the Blue Jays. And then it got a little bit closer, but then the Blue Jays were up 4-2. And then Max Muncy of the Dodgers hit a solo homer in the 8th inning, made it 4-3. But then they go to Jeff Hoffman, the Ford Phillies reliever, and he's now the Blue Jays closer. But he gives them a little too many of the home runs, and he hangs those sliders. And with one out, you're like, oh, they're going to face Miguel Rojas. He should be an easy out. They got Kiki Hernandez out, who's a big-time playoff beast out there year after year. And then they'll have to face Shohei Ohtani. Miguel Rojas should be an easy out. Then Shohei Ohtani, that'll be up for the World Series. 1-run game, up 4-3. 2 outs away from the World Series. 2 outs away. And then what happens? Jeff Hoffman hangs a slider. And Miguel Rojas, who hasn't hit a home run since the middle of September, in almost 2 months, hits a home run over the left field wall, out in front of that slider, was ready for it, hunted for that slider, tied it up. Then the Blue Jays had numerous chances to win the game on a walk-off, Joe Carter-esque style, after they were shocked. It was tied 4-4. In the 9th inning, they had the play at the plate with Connor Falefa and the force out by inches because Will Smith, the Dodgers catcher's foot went off the bag. And Miguel Rojas made another great play, was fumbled the ball. and then he made a great a strike right to home plate and got a kind of left out. And then Ernie Clement, who him and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had like the most hits ever in a playoff season. Playoffs hit a drive. Kiki Hernandez was trying to make like a Willie Mays-esque basket catch by the wall. Wasn't going to catch it. He couldn't get to it. Then Andy Pajes, who came in as the center fielder defensive replacement, came storming in, posterized, and basically torpedoed it and slammed into Kiki Hernandez. Held onto the ball. They would have made tied. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had a 3-0 green light on a changeup against Blake Snell in relief. That ball's caught at the wall at the warning track. And then Will Smith, not the actor Will Smith who slapped Chris Rock after when he was going to win the Oscar a few years ago. This Big Willie style, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith, the star catcher of the Dodgers, hit a home run off Shane Bieber, who's coming back for the season with the Blue Jays, formerly of the Cleveland Guardians, to give them the 5-4 lead. And then with runners at first and third after a leadoff double by Vladimir Guerrero Jr., IKF bunted him over to third base. There's runners at first and third, and Alejandro Kirk, terrific offense and defense catcher of the Blue Jays, but can't run very fast. Hits into the World Series clinch in double play. Mookie Betts at shortstop took it himself, then threw it to first, steps on the second base bag, throws to first base, Freddie Freeman, and the Dodgers win the World Series. The Dodgers win! And the Blue Jays, after 32-year drought of not being in the World Series, looked like they were so close to winning it on many occasions. Wasn't to be. They fell just short. I feel really bad for Don Mattingly. Was 2 outs and at times just inches away in extra innings, went 11 innings. That's they had the 18-inning masterpiece last week. The Dodgers won, and he was 2 outs and inches away on a lot of close plays in the extra innings. Don Mattingly fell short of finally winning his first World Series title after 40 years into baseball. And now they said he's not planning to retire at 64 years young, but he will not stay with the Blue Jays. He's going to go elsewhere. So as a Yankee fan, I'm like, bring him home. I'm sure Aaron Boone's going to remain as the Yankees manager. And I'd love to. Don Mattingly, I've been saying this for years, to be the Yankees manager. Even back when they got Joe Girardi, did a solid job. Let Don Mattingly be one of your coaches, a hitting coach, a bench coach, whatever it is, a base coach. And maybe the Yankees, he'll be the good luck charm and he'll win a World Series title. As much as I wanted Don Mattingly to win it, but with the Blue Jays, it would have felt weird. It was weird to root for the Blue Jays. I would love to see him do it with the Yankees, where it all began. So, Blue Jays fell short. Great series. Iconic, legendary World Series. 7 games. 51 million people tuned into Game 7, which is the most watched baseball game in 34 years since the 1991 7-game World Series Classic, with the Atlanta Braves falling short to the Minnesota Twins and Kirby Puckett, and Jack Morris going 10 innings, a shutout ball, go to extra innings, and he pitched the whole game, similar to what Yamamoto was doing. And in 34 years, the most watched World Series in baseball history. So, tip of the cap to the Los Angeles Dodgers, back-to-back World Series champions. They had their parade on Monday in downtown LA and at Dodger Stadium. And they're ready to talk about three-peat. So you say there's a chance. They won 3 in a row. And my wife and I are going to actually be in LA this weekend because for our 10th wedding anniversary, I surprised her that we're going to her beloved Pittsburgh Steelers, who are on the road. A lot of Steelers fans, I'm sure, will play the trip to La La Land in LA. Are going to take on the LA Chargers at SoFi Stadium. 8:20 on NBC Sunday Night Football. East Coast time will be 5:20 over there in LA. So we're going this weekend. Meet up with her beloved Uncle Scott and his son Bobby. They were going to the game, so I wanted them to be able to go see a football game together with their beloved Steelers in LA when I found out they were going to be in LA as well. And fingers crossed with the government shutdown that our airplane won't be delayed or our flight will be canceled. Hopefully it will go off without a hitch. We're going to California on Saturday. And we're going to, the goal plan is we have gotten tickets to go see Dodger Stadium on a baseball tour. We're going to get the extra VIP pass. A little bit more expensive. We get to go to the bullpen where they warm up. The batting cages of Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, all the World Series heroes, take their big mighty swings. Get to go around the stadium. My son already wants a lot of World Series back-to-back championship merchandise and Ohtani stuff. He's hoping that Ohtani over there, I give him a lock of his glorious hair. So we're supposed to do that. We're going to Warner Brothers movie studio tour as well. We're in LA. Of course, the Chargers-Steelers game, Sunday Night Football. And we got a lucky drawing. Thanks to my wife. She got us hooked up with this. We're going to get to see Jimmy Kimmel Live this Monday night. Hopefully there'll be some fun guests. Glad Jimmy Kimmel's back on air after the whole controversy, and Jimmy Kimmel Live, we will be in attendance for that. So hopefully everything is fine. Government shutdown hopefully will come to an end soon, especially with the crisis with the SNAP benefits. And people are really struggling out there. So if you are able to donate to your local food banks, whatever you can give, I'm sure will be greatly appreciated during these tough times. But we're hoping the government shutdown's over soon, but hopefully our flight won't get delayed or canceled, and we'll have a good time in California again to celebrate the world champion LA Dodgers. So, congrats to the Dodgers. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting to the end. I think if I sing more than that, I might get sued by Queen. So, the great We Are the Champions song. So that's the baseball talk. Basketball, hockey. Hockey, congrats to the all-time lead scorer Alex Ovechkin, who broke Wayne Gretzky's with seemingly unbreakable goal scoring record last year. He last night in a 6-1 home win in Washington, D.C., beat the St. Louis Blues game I saw on TNT HBO Max. On Wednesday night, he's the first player ever to score 900 career goals. Congrats to Ovi, Alex Ovechkin, the great one. I don't know if he's going to be able to play much longer. He's already been in the NHL for 20 years, 2 decades. But if he can hold on maybe 3 or 4 more years, he has really good years. Maybe get to 1,000 goals, which would be insane. Already won a Stanley Cup back in 2018. Him and Sidney Crosby have been great players for so long. Came into the NHL at the same time. But congrats to Alex Ovechkin, 900 career goals. Our baby Penguins lost last night 4-3 at home, but they will be celebrating. Check it out this Saturday at 6:05 p.m. Tickets going fast at Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza in the WB in Wilkes-Barre. They're celebrating Veterans Day to salute our courageous troops. So they're celebrating Military Appreciation Night. 6:05 p.m. Baby Penguins. Check them out this Saturday night. And then following Friday, November 14th, they'll be back at home. Maybe we'll try to go to that one. I know the kids are really joke to go to Baby Penguins and see Tux, the mascot. So check that out. The Flyers beat the Montreal Canadiens the other night, 5-4. The Penguins blew a 3-0 lead in the third and final period, which was terrible. To Toronto Maple Leafs, lost 4-3 on Monday night. So hopefully they'll bounce back. Rangers, they had a good road trip, but then they lost, 3-0 at home at Madison Square Garden, where they've been struggling, but they've done really well on the road lately. They lost to the Carolina Hurricanes. Devils have been playing pretty well. So hockey's been going well. Basketball, my New York Knicks, 5-0, perfect undefeated record at home so far. They just crushed the Minnesota Timberwolves with the return of their star player Anthony Edwards, 137-114. So congrats to my Knicks, Jalen Brunson and company, Karl-Anthony Towns. Struggled a little bit on the road, but they're undefeated at home in front of the New York City faithful. Philadelphia 76ers overall playing pretty well. They're 5-3, but they lost a big game to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell last night. The Brooklyn Nets, hallelujah, hallelujah. They finally won their first game this season. The last team in the NBA, just like my stinky JTS Jets, is the last football team to win a game. The Brooklyn Nets were the last NBA basketball team to win a game so far in the young season. They beat the defending Eastern Conference champions, of course, unfortunately without Halliburton this year. Just like, no Jason Tatum with the Celtics with his injury. But the Nets beat the Indiana Pacers 112-103 with their first game of the year. So congrats to the Brooklyn Nets. So you say there's a chance. Anything is possible. And then the Lakers are on a hot streak, even without LeBron James, who's been out with that sciatic nerve by his back. Hopefully he'll be back soon. The great LeBron James, all-time basketball lead scorer. Lakers are on a 5-game win streak. They just beat the San Antonio Spurs with Wemby, who's doing great for the Spurs. 118-116 last night. Luka's dominating. He's averaging over 40 points a game and making an early run for MVP early season. So, basketball doing great. Hockey, fun to watch. Baseball World Series, all-time record ratings. That was great to see. College basketball is in full swing, including Penn State Scranton. The men's team won their first game in New York City against Toro College. Next week, they'll have their home opener, the men's team, with the great men's and women's head coach at Penn State Scranton, Troy Jackson Jr., coaching against Elmira College from upstate New York. And the women's team, they got a big win against Sussex County Community College last Saturday, 84-50. I covered that game over the weekend. So that's been cool. College football, struggling Penn State. They hung it with defending national champion, number 1 ranked team, undefeated Ohio State. They hung it with them for a while. At halftime, they're only down by 3, 17-14. Of course, no Drew Aller for the rest of the season with his injury, with new young quarterback. James Franklin's fired. Terry Smith Jr., the interim coach, doing his best while they go big game hunting for their next big-time coach. But struggling Penn State now has lost 5 in a row. They ended up losing, I think, 30 I think it was 38-17. They ended up getting outscored 21-0 in the second half after playing Ohio State on the road really close to the first half. So that's hopefully some grounds to be excited that maybe they'll be able to improve soon. But right now they're struggling. And then their first 3 wins of the season, easily you think bowl eligible, playing for a national title, but things have really fallen off. They've lost 5 in a row. They're going to almost certainly lose this weekend. They're at home at 12 p.m. on Fox at Happy Valley. Penn State gets the number 2 ranked team in the country. After the number 1 ranked team in the country, Ohio State crushed them. Penn State the number 2 ranked team in the country, and Indiana Hoosiers. And Cignetti, their great coach, who is not going over to Penn State. He signed a big-time contract extension with Indiana. And so now it's going to be tough. They'll probably lose this game bigly and fall to 3-6, lose 6 in a row. And then their only hope to be bowl eligible will be win their last 3 games of the season and hope for the best against mediocre Big Ten competition. So Penn State hopefully will bounce back. At least they played Ohio State well in the first half, but ugly in the second half. And it's probably going to get ugly this weekend in front of the home faithful versus Indiana, 12 p.m. on Fox, number 2 ranked team in the country. And Indiana's undefeated. Notre Dame is 6-2. They're going to host Navy, who's 7-1, the midshipmen, on NBC and Peacock at 7:30 p.m. Saturday night. Check that out. Should be a great game. I would expect Notre Dame to win that. If they win out, they should be able to make the playoff, which everyone might hate, who are Notre Dame haters, but it looks like a good chance for the great young coach Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Pitt Panthers are 7-2. They actually have a bye week this week, and they've won 5 games in a row, and after crushing Stanford last week, they will host Notre Dame. Speaking of Notre Dame, next Saturday, November 15th at 12 p.m. on ESPN. Should be a big-time matchup. Could possibly decide college football playoff implications. So they just had the first playoff rankings, and the Pitt Panthers are back in the top 25-24 ranked team in the country. Notre Dame's up to number 10 in the country. So that should be a good one next week. So that's the college football, college basketball, Major League Baseball World Series, basketball, hockey we talked about, baby Penguins. What else? And now, so let's before we quickly go into the football picks, because we're going to quickly get there, because that's what my son and daughter pretty quick from school. SNL will be new this week. They were funny last week with Miles Teller hosted, and the great Brandy Carlisle is musically performing. This week, she's the funny Comedy Central roast queen. Nikki Glazer did a great job on the Tom Brady roast on Netflix, if you want to check that out from about a year ago. Nikki Glazer hosts with musical guest Somber, who has the big breakout hit Undressed. Good song, good bands, young band. So Nikki Glazer should be a funny one this week on Saturday Night Live. And then the following week, Glenn Powell, who's in one of my favorite shows, just wrapped up season 1, 6 episodes. Hopefully, I can't get enough. Hopefully they give more from the Eli Manning spinoff. Chad Powers on Hulu, in disguise as a disgraced football player now. No one knows what he's doing. He's doing great, on the football team in college. Chad Powers just wrapped up season 1. Hopefully will return for season 2. Starring, and one of the creators is Glenn Powell, playing Chad Powers. And Glenn Powell's his great remake looks really good from Edgar Wright, The Running Man, which Arnold Schwarzenegger. Take two, call me the morning. It is not the tuba and things that nature. Hasta vista, baby. Jamie, get down, get to the chopper. It is not the tuba. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was the original Running Man, based on a Stephen King book from back in the day. That was a good one. And now this one, that was from 1987. Now 38 years later, next Friday, November 14th, Josh Brolin also guest stars in it. He plays the main antagonist bad guy in it. Sean Hayes from Will and Grace is in it as the game show host. But Glenn Powell is one of the stars of the main star in the new Running Man movie that's coming out next Friday. Looks good, and he's also in Chad Powers, so he'll be hosting Saturday Night Live next Saturday. So check that out as well. But this week, Nikki Glazer hosts and Somber's the musical guest. New movies this week. Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator, the first Predator movie with him and the great Carl Weathers, the late great Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, and he was also in the original Predator from 1987 as well, the same year as The Running Man. Great movie. And now new Predator Badlands starring Elle Fanning comes out this Friday, November 7th. Also, great horror movie and Oscar winner Guillermo del Toro. It's in select movie theaters and now coming to Netflix everywhere. Tomorrow, November 7th, the new Frankenstein movie. Check it out. Got great reviews. Oscar Isaac is in it. Can't bet against Guillermo del Toro. Great movie director who really and writer and creator and really cares about this. And Frankenstein's been his passion project for years. So check that out. Netflix starting tomorrow. Again, Sly Stallone, Tulsa King, a few more episodes left on Paramount Plus every Sunday. Great show. St. Dennis Medical, Monday nights. Tuesdays the next day on Peacock, NBC. Season 2, St. Dennis Medical, funny comedy medical show. Hilarious with David Allen Greer and a lot of funny people. the funny, goofy mom from the Goldberg show that was on for over a decade. Really funny show, St. Dennis Medical. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The funny show, Superstore Store. I think the same creators made St. Dennis Medical. Very much like The Office, Parks Recreation, but it's back for season 2 this past week. Did disappoint with 2 new episodes, so that's every Monday. Again, Chad Powers, check that out. Season 1 on Hulu. The It prequel, scary good on HBO Max every Sunday. And I can't wait to see it now on demand. The Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson might get an Oscar nomination for it. The Smasher Machine about the MMA fighter Mark Kerr is available to rent or buy on demand. I missed out in theaters. Can't wait to see that. So that's what's going on there in the entertainment world. And now, as late great Heath Ledger said in The Dark Knight, Joker, his iconic role as the Joker, for Week 10 of the NFL schedule. Fly right by. And here we go. There's 14 NFL matchups this week for Week 10 of the National Football League. Kicks off tonight, Thursday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video with Kirk Herbstreit and the great Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! The Vegas Raiders struggling. Geno Smith, I think, is leading the league in interceptions. Not doing well, and he's teamed back up with his head coach from Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll, struggling his first year with the Raiders in Vegas. They lost a heartbreaker last week. They're 2-6. They lost 30-29 by 1 point in overtime against the improved Jaguars. Instead of playing for the tie, it's commendable, but it cost them a game. They went for the 2-point conversion in the win. They got knocked down, failed, so they lose by 1 point in overtime. Lose a heartbreaker to the Jaguars at home in Vegas. So now the Raiders are 2-6. They go on the road to take on their AFC. I was going to say AL East like baseball. AFC West divisional rival, the Denver Broncos, who are red hot, a 6-game winning streak, have won 6 games in a row, 7-2 on the season. They won 18-15, a close road win over the Houston Texans last week. Bo Nix, the young star quarterback of the Broncos, and Sean Payton, their head coach, has them rolling. I don't expect that to stop now. The Broncos beat up on their sticky division rivals, but division rivals you never know. But here, you know, Max Crosby is going to do the best he can with his pass rush, but not enough Raiders offense and probably too many turnovers by Geno Smith. Broncos offense is flying, defense doing well. Broncos in the Mile High Air in Denver win easily over the Raiders, 34-17, proved 8-2. Raiders fall to 2-7. Then we go back these next 2 weeks after we had a few weeks off, back to all day, everyday football from morning to night. Sunday, November 9th, 9:30 in the morning, NFL Network game only from Berlin. And then next week, I think they're in Madrid, Spain. It's the Atlanta Falcons 3-5 at the Indianapolis Colts 7-2. The Falcons lost a heartbreaker on the road to the Red Hot Patriots, who I think have won 6 in a row as well, like Denver. They lost by 1 point, 24-23 on the road to the Patriots last week to fall to 3-5. Michael Penix Jr. out there, quarterback, before Kirk Cousins had to step in when Penix was hurt. Then up and down, the Falcons' dynamic offense. 1 week it's the Bills, next week they don't show up and they get beat up by mediocre teams. The Patriots are red hot, and Drake May and the Patriots were able to beat them by a point. They go on the road. Well, not really on the road. They both are on the road. They're both playing in Germany here in Berlin, international game. So it's going to be hard for both of them. I'm sure it's a fun trip, but also it's a business trip. You got to win. There's a lot of distractions out there. They might have some jet lag. They're taking on the Colts, who are 7-2. Daniel Jones doing a great job of quarterback ever since he left the stinky New York Giants. They got beat up last week by the Steelers, 27-20 in Pittsburgh. So the Colts' dynamic offense, he was running for his life, and the Steelers' defense forced 5 turnovers. The Colts, though, will have some assistance on the defensive side of the ball by Jets. They're always rebuilding, and they just traded away 2 of their star players. Quinton Williams, the star defensive tackle, got traded to the Cowboys and for the NFL trade deadline yesterday. And then Sauce Gardner, the star lockdown quarterback of the Jets, who usually shuts down all the offensive star wide receivers, kind of like a young Deion Sanders. He got traded to the Colts. So now they have a lockdown quarter in Sauce Gardner for the Colts, helping for the stretch drive. And Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor, the star running back, they look ripe for a great second half. So I think they'll improve to 8-2. They'll win in Berlin over the Falcons. I'll go with the Colts. I'll go 30-20. They win by 10 points in Germany. Colts over the Falcons. Colts 8-2. Falcons fall to 3-6. Then we have 7 early 1 p.m. games. 1 o'clock on Fox. We have the 1-8 Saints, who are starting their rookie quarterback the rest of the way. He stinks. Spencer Rattler was not much better. They go on the road, take on the Carolina Panthers, who have won a good amount of games. I think they've won 5 out of the last 6. They're 5-4. They just had a nice road victory over the Green Bay Packers. Upset win on the road at Lambeau Field, 16-13 last week on a walk-off game-winning field goal. Panthers, I think everyone should be favored to beat the Saints. Can't believe the Saints even won that one game against Jackson Dart and the Giants a few weeks back, or else they'd be winless, like my Jets were for a while. I think the Panthers beat up on the Saints pretty easily. I'll go with 32-20. They win by 12 points. Panthers win by 12 points, improve to 6-4. Saints a lousy 1-9. They'll fall to. Then 1 o'clock on Fox, we have the 2-7 Giants at the Chicago Bears, who are 5-3 under rookie head coach Ben Johnson, former offensive coordinator, offensive guru for the Lions, doing good year one. Tutoring Caleb Williams at quarterback in Chicago. Giants 2-7. They got beat up by the 49ers at home in Jersey last week, 34-24. They, of course, no Camp Skatabo for the rest of the year, no Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart's still playing pretty well, but doesn't have a whole lot to work with those key injuries. Giants, I think they'll lose here pretty easily. They'll give it a tough fight. Jackson Dart, I like what he's doing. Giving the Giants some hope that they got the real deal, but I think Brian Dable and Joe Shane, the coach and the GM, one if not both, will be gone at season's end. The Bears won a thriller by 5 points, 47-42, on the road over the Cincinnati Bengals in a big high-scoring shootout between Caleb Williams and Joe Flacco, who at first I wasn't sure he was going to play with the shoulder injury, but the Bears won on a last-second touchdown. Bears are 5-3. Ben Johnson and that offense and improved Caleb Williams is starting to roll. I think the Bears win here over the Giants. And, Giants keep it close for a while, but the Bears pull away. 34-24. Bears improve to 6-3. Giants fall to 2-8. Next game, 1 o'clock on CBS. My buddy Dan Torres Jaguars 5-3. Of course, after that overtime thrilling win over the Raiders last week on the road in Vegas, go on the road, take on the Houston Texans 3-5. CJ Stroud's going to be out for this game, for at least the game with an injury. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. Normally I'd go with the Texans here, desperate for a win to try to stay viable in the AFC South Division, but no CJ Stroud, their young star quarterback. So Mills, their backup quarterback, who's mediocre at best, is going to start. So maybe they'll rally the troops. But I think an improved Jaguars team with Trevor Lawrence will get the job done. But no Travis Hunter, who's going to be out for at least 4 games on IR with an injury. They did get a wide receiver. I think they got a receiver from the New Orleans Saints, who's a pretty good receiver. So the Jaguars will try to play well in the meantime without Travis Hunter. Hopefully makes a speedy recovery. Going to go with the Jaguars to beat the Texans. Ugly close game, 23-20. Jaguars proved to 6-3. The Texans are lowly 3-6 without C.J. Stroud this week. It's going to be a tough one at home. 1 o'clock on CBS, we have the Buffalo Bills. They have friends Bills, 6-2. They do what they do every regular season. Got to get it done in the playoffs. Hopefully this is the year to do it. I picked them to beat the Eagles in Super Bowl 60 to finally win their elusive first Super Bowl title. Josh Allen won in the 10th battle between Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, the new age Manning versus Brady. By the way, we found out this week Tom Brady cloned his dog, so that's great, but it's about $50,000 process, and I'm like, I guess that's cool, but it's a little weird and freaky. You can clone dogs. I knew you could clone sheep. They did that back in like 97 when I was a little kid, but when I was 11, but now apparently you can clone dogs, so we learned that this week about Tom Brady, but I digress. The new Brady Manning rivalry with Allen and Mahomes didn't disappoint. Came down to the final drive, 28-21. Bills at home in Buffalo over the Chiefs. They are now 6-2. Got to get it done against the Chiefs if they play each other in the playoffs. Right now, the Chiefs aren't even in the playoffs, but playoffs, the NFL is going to make sure they get in the playoffs. You would think, but the Chiefs will make sure between Pat Mahomes and Mr. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid will get it done to get to the playoffs. But the Bills will continue to improve. They'll beat up on the lowly Dolphins, who just got rid of their GM, and McDaniel, their head coach, will probably be gone by season's end. They said they'll keep him for the rest of the season. But 2 in the Dolphins struggling. Division rivalry in Miami. Dolphins stink. No Tyreek Hill for the rest of the season with his injury. And the Dolphins don't have much really right now, and they're going to get embarrassed. They just got crushed by the Baltimore Ravens 28-6 last week on Thursday Night Football, which was what we thought would happen in Miami. I'll go with the Bills to crush the Dolphins here. I'll go with 40-17. They easily beat the Dolphins. Bills proved to 7-2. The lowly Dolphins fall to 2-8. 1 o'clock on Fox, we have the Baltimore Ravens, who are starting to rise up and play much better. They're 3-5. They will go on the road to take on the Vikings, who are 4-4, and got J.J. McCarthy back after now Carson Wentz out for the rest of the season, and Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback guru, the offensive guru, head coach of the Vikings. The quarterback whisperer got J.J. McCarthy healthy, which is the big thing. You got to stay healthy and prove he can play. They got a nice road win against their division rival, the Detroit Lions, last week, 27-24. So they're back to 500. They're at home in Minnesota, but the Ravens are 3-5. They, I know they beat up on the lowly Dolphins last week in Miami on the road, 20-6 last week. So I don't know how much that counts, but Derrick Henry's starting to run the ball much better. The defense is improving, and they also have Lamar Jackson healthy. So if he's healthy and Derrick Henry's running the ball and the defense is getting better, I like the Ravens' chances. I think they'll improve, and they're going to be a problem for the Steelers because they're only 2 games back of the Steelers when the Steelers really should have padded their lead while they could. They still have to play the Ravens twice this year and haven't played them yet. Ravens will improve to 4-5, getting inching closer to 500 record. I think the Vikings will make it tough at home, but I think that in the end the Ravens win. I'll go with 27-20. They win by a touchdown over the Vikings. Vikings fall to 4-5. The Ravens improve to 4-5. That's 1:00 on Fox. Then 1:00 on CBS. The Cleveland Browns. Both teams, battle of 2 teams come off bye weeks. They're well rested. The stinky Cleveland Browns 2-6. They still want to see Deion Sanders' son Shedeur Sanders get into play. Gabriel's playing instead now since they got rid of Joe Flacco to the Bengals, who's doing great for Cincinnati. Browns 2-6 at my New York Jets. Jets got to bask in the glory of their first win. Comeback, improbable comeback, 39-38 on the road against the Bengals the week before. Then they got off for a week. That sounds like a spaceship landing. It's our Roomba, or robot vacuum cleaner that Haley, our puppy, does not like that noise. We'll wait 1 second for that. But my Jets, 1-7, got the nice win in honor of the late great Nick Mangold from the Cincinnati, Ohio area 2 weeks ago, and then they got off. They were off this past week. Jets, I'm gonna actually go with the Jets. Even though it hurts as a Jets fan, they stink again. It will probably might cause something that they get another win or two, the number 1 draft pick. They got a lot of first round and second round picks these next 2 years, so maybe you say there's a chance. Maybe this next one will be better than Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold, who does well now with the Seahawks and did well with the Vikings last year. The secret, just like Daniel Jones had to leave the Giants, when you leave the Jets, you do well. So the Jets, now got rid of their star defensive tackle, Keenan Williams, got rid of Sauce Gardner, their star cornerback, so they lose their 2 star defensive players. They still have Garrett Wilson, the star receiver. Justin Fields had a good game the week before, but who knows? Between him and Tyrod Taylor, they need to get a franchise correct and hope they could draft right, which they struggled to do. And then they got Aaron Rodgers. He either struggled or they couldn't protect him, and he got blew out his Achilles 4 plays into this season. So the Jets, hopefully this will work out. They got a lot of draft picks, but hopefully their new GM doesn't screw that up. But Aaron Glenn and the Jets, they'll continue to fight and play hard. And I'm going to actually pick them at home, even after those devastating trades at the trade deadline with Sauce Gardner and Williams, Keenan Williams. I think they beat the Cleveland Browns in a close game, 26-23. Jets proved to 2-7. Jets, gotta believe, and they stink again. And the Cleveland Browns fall to 2-7, 1:00 on CBS. For the last of the early 1 p.m. games, the 7-2 Patriots, I think have won 6 in a row, beat the Falcons last week, 24-23, at home in New England. They will take on, which should be the game of the day, possible Super Bowl preview. I don't know, that might be saying too much, but maybe not. Against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, who had a bye week last week. They're 6-2 at home in Tampa, 1:00 CBS. This one should be a great game. Drake May, young star quarterback of the Patriots, and all their offensive weapons, and Stephon Diggs and Hunter Henry, their tight end, and then Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the Patriots. The defense is really rolling. And then the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, possible MVP this year, doing a great job with Tampa Bay. No Mike Evans with the collarbone, broken collarbone, which is a tough blow for Tampa Bay. But Baker Mayfield, we trust. I think the Patriots' 6-game winning streak comes to an end, but I think it's going to be a heck of a thriller. I'm going to go with 34-31 Tampa Bay Bucks and Baker Mayfield over the Patriots. Just have a little more confidence in Baker Mayfield at home in Tampa to knock off the Patriots, but it should be a great game, a great game of the day. On 1:00 at CBS, Bucks improve to 7-2, Patriots fall to 7-3, and the Buffalo Bills will get back into first place in the division, but they still have to play each other one more time at home in New England. So the Patriots already beat Buffalo in Buffalo early in the year. But I think the Bucks finally break the Patriots' long winning streak. And I can't stand the New England Patriots. They are much better than they were, and the Bucks will win 34-31. Then we only have 3 late afternoon games because we also have the game in Berlin early in the morning. It's 4:05 on CBS. The Arizona Cardinals had a nice road Monday Night Football win in Jerry World in Dallas on Monday night, 27-17. They dominated the Cowboys. New quarterback, formerly of the Patriots and the Colts, Jacoby Brissett. Looks like he's going to be the quarterback for a while for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's on IR out at least for next 4 games with a foot injury. And Jacoby Brissett might not give that starting job back to Kyler Murray. His days in Arizona might be numbered. Jacoby Brissett seems to be moving the ball pretty well. The defense is playing pretty well. And the Cardinals, 3-5, go on the road, take on the Seattle Seahawks, who are 6-2. I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. I think the Cardinals will keep it close, and Jacoby Brissett will continue to play well for the Cardinals. But in the end, with the 12th man, hard place to play in Seattle, division rivalry, AFC West battle, and rivalry. I think Sam Darnold and the Seahawks do a good job offensively, have a good amount of firepower, solid defense, and the Seahawks pull away in the second half, 34-24, Seahawks over the Cardinals. Seahawks improve to 7-2, Cardinals fall to 3-6. Then 4:25 on Fox, we have the LA Rams, 6-2 record against the division rival in the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers, who are 6-3. 49ers keep finding ways to win, even without Brock Purdy. Mac Jones doing a good job at quarterback. George Kittle back healthy. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan doing wonders. Possible coach of the year this year with all the injuries he's a team that had to overcome and stay in the hunt. The Rams crushed the stinky New Orleans Saints last week in LA at home, 34-10 last week. So Matthew Stafford, as long as he stays healthy, and Puka, their star receiver, and the rest of their weapons are productive. Sean McVay, you trust him as an offensive genius. The Rams, I think, will win this game, but the 49ers always play tough. They'll play tough even with all the injuries and bruised and battered. Mac Jones is doing a solid job, and it should be a great close division rival battle to the end. I just give the Rams, who are a little bit healthier, a slight advantage here. I'm going to go with the Rams. Could go either way. I'm going to go with the Rams 27-24 over the 49ers. Late field goal. Proved to 7-2 the Rams. The 49ers fall to 6-4, but still in the hunt. Last of the late afternoon games, 4:25 on Fox. We have the Detroit Lions 5-3 after losing at home a tough division battle to the Vikings, 27-24. Dan Campbell's Lions and Jared Goff and company need to bounce back. I think they will, but it helps, unfortunately, that Washington Commanders, who are now a lousy 3-6, just got crushed 38-14 on Sunday Night Football at home in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Last week. And to make matters worse, Jaden Daniels, who's been in and out of injuries with hamstring and knee injuries, now had a nasty-looking dislocated elbow injury. He's probably going to be out for the foreseeable future. Marcus Mariota is a backup quarterback for a reason, just mediocre at best. So if you can't protect the great Jaden Daniels, who in his rookie year was a great rookie of the year, took them to the NFC Championship game almost before the Eagles beat them, one step away from the Super Bowl, knocked the Lions off last year. The Lions will get some revenge for losing that playoff game, but they're going to have to do a lot more because that's, the playoffs, they were expected to win it all, Lions, or at least get out of the NFC into the Super Bowl, and that didn't happen. But they'll get a little bit of revenge. Washington, Jaden Daniels, hopefully a speedy recovery, great young quarterback. You hope it's not like an RG3 thing where he can't stay healthy and Washington can't protect him. I'm rooting for the kid. He's a great young quarterback. But Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, the Lions bounce back in a big way over Washington, who's battered, injured, and I think they're going to win this game 37-17. They win by 20 points on the road in Washington, D.C. Lions prove to 6-3. Washington falls to 3-7. Then we have then we have the Sunday Night Football showdown that we're going to be at. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:20 where we'll be in LA. NBC and Peacock simulcast. The Steelers 5-3 after their nice home victory. Defense forced 5 turnovers, made Daniel Jones look like the New York Giants stinky quarterback Daniel Jones running for his life. At times they had to settle for maybe too many field goals, but Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers got it done. 27-20 home win over the Colts. They're 5-3. They go on the road all the way to the West Coast, take on the LA Chargers, who also won 27-20 against the lowly stinky Tennessee Titans. Last week the Chargers are 6-3. I think this can go either way. Jim Harbaugh always gets his team ready to play. The Chargers head coach, Justin Herbert, is a great young quarterback. Just played this game on Madden this morning with my dog Haley in attendance, and that was 26-14. We won by 12 points. I'm going to go with a similar score, but I think it's going to be a one-score game. I'll go with 26-23, the Steelers, because they'll make it into a semi-home game because Steeler fans will travel anywhere. They'll come to California like we are, and we'll be wearing our Steeler jerseys proudly. Hopefully we don't get beat up go into our hotel room after the game. Steelers 26-23. Hopefully my wife will be happy after this win for our 10th win anniversary. Love you with all my heart, Abby. I think the Steelers improved to 6-3, 26-23 over the Chargers on a late Chris Boswell field goal. The guy is such a clutch kicker. Chargers fall to 6-3. Chargers fall to 6-4 with the home loss. Steelers improved to 6-3. Last but not least, Monday Night Football, no doubleheader this week, 8:15 p.m. ESPN ABC. Philadelphia Eagles coming off a bye week, 6-2. They will take on the road at Lambeau Field, the Green Bay Packers, coming off an embarrassing home loss, 16-13 to the Carolina Panthers, who are better than what we thought they were, but they should have still easily won that. The Packers lost on a walk-off field goal after their nice 10-point, 35-25 road win on Sunday Night Football the week before against Aaron Rodgers, former Packer great, and the Steelers. So then they laid an egg the next week, had a letdown, and got upset at home by the Panthers. Really could go either way, but I'm going to say the Eagles beat them in the regular season in Brazil last year and in the playoffs. I know it's on the road in Green Bay, but I think as long as Jalen Hurts keeps keeping him honest, throwing the ball when he needs to, with A.J. Brown coming back from his injury, hopefully, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and you keep feeding the ball to Saquon Barkley, the defense needs to pick up. Howie Roseman, the great GM of the Eagles, he got Jair Alexander, former great Green Bay Packer. He'll get to face his former team. They got him from the Ravens. And they also got Jalen Phillips, a star pass rusher from the Miami Dolphins at the trade deadline. So Howie Roseman working his magic, and I'm going to go with the Eagles to beat the Packers. High-scoring shootout, 34-31, Philly over the Packers at Lambeau Field. So there's going to be Eagles improved to 7-2. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. EAGLES, Eagles. 4 bye-week teams are off this week. Bengals 3-6. The Cowboys 3-5-1. And they will have to recover one of their young, 24 years young defensive players who actually got a punt return touchdown on Monday Night Football just a few days ago, 3 days ago. Sadly, out of nowhere, shockingly passed away today at 24 years old, 24 years young. So our hearts go out to the NFL, his family, the Dallas Cowboys, and the whole team there and the whole family there. I'm sure they're a close-knit group. So they lost a loved one today. So that's horrible news to wake up to, that a young 24-year-old man, Dallas Cowboy, just scored a touchdown 3 days ago, and now his life is gone. So the Cowboys will try to recover and hopefully play in his honor. But yeah, they are also off this week, 3-5-1, and they made, of course, the big trade. They got Logan Wilson from the Bengals, and they of course got Mike Keenan Williams, star defensive tackle, pass rusher, also clog up the pass rush from my Jets. Also, the Chiefs 5-4 coming off the tough Bills loss. They're off, not in the playoff spot right now. They need to bounce back. And the Titans 1-8, who are stinking it up. They're also Bengals, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Titans are off. And again, my Week 10 NFL picks, I'll rattle them off, including tonight's Thursday Night Football game. Broncos over the Raiders bigly. Colts over the Falcons in Germany this week. Panthers crushed the Stinky Saints. The Bears over the Giants. Jaguars over the Texans. Bills crushed the lowly Dolphins. Ravens beat the Vikings. My Jets win their second game of the year, beat the Browns. Hallelujah. But hurt their draft positioning. Bucks beat the Patriots to end their winning streak. Baker Mayfield, we trust. We'll go with Seahawks over the Cardinals. Rams over the 49ers in a close rivalry game. Lions crushed Washington Commanders without Jaden Daniels. Steelers over the Chargers in LA. Hopefully we'll have a great time in the game. My wife will enjoy that. And the Eagles over the Packers on Monday Night Football. So those are my Week 10 NFL picks. Take doom, call me. The morning is not the doom. I think it's that nature. We'd love to hear if you agree, disagree, you think I'm crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Tell me what you think about my Week 10 NFL picks. And see, it's a little cookie. That's good enough for me. Oh, cookie starts with C. Oi to the world, my beautiful Hanukkah shirt. Hanukkah, December 15th, and Christmas, Feliz Navidad, on, of course, December 25th, 10 days later. My kids are excited because we get to celebrate both, and they get to enjoy it. So, those are my football picks. Enjoy the college football with Penn State, Notre Dame. Pitt is off this week. The NFL football. Dodgers, congrats, back-to-back World Series champions. Tim Hill coming back to the Yankees, 1 year, $3 million. The wheel and deal offseason trades and free agent signings will be here soon. And the offseason awards with the MVP. Hopefully Aaron Judge wins the MVP over Cal Raleigh, even though they both deserve it. Could be co-MVPs. Paul Skeens will hopefully win the Cy Young Award. Clayton Kershaw retired as a World Series champion with the Dodgers back-to-back years. Great career, Hall of Famer. NBA and basketball is great. Congrats to Alex Ovechkin, 900 goals. First player to ever do that. Check out the Baby Pens this Saturday. Salute to our troops game. And the Knicks keep winning at home. Nets finally won a game. Lakers red hot even without LeBron. Luka playing great. Sixers doing all right. And we'll wrap up the show with a song from my beautiful wife, Abby, Lorelai, my beautiful daughter, and my handsome son, Eldrin. I'm going to sing You Are My Sunshine. I sing this to my son every night before bed when I read him his Diary of a Wimpy Kid books he loves. You make me happy when skies are gray. Wee! You'll never know, dear. The puppy looks up at me, I'm crazy. How much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take My sunshine, away. I love you. That is true. Love you, Lorelai. I love you, LJ. And love you, Abby. Hopefully, we have a great 10th wedding anniversary weekend in LA. And I love you guys. Keep it locked to the my loyal listeners and viewers. Keep it locked. DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Your home for all your rated sports and entertainment talk right here on DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Have a great weekend. Stay warm in all the early, dark, cold weather. Enjoy it. Enjoy November. Hopefully, you had a great Halloween. Keep warm out there. Enjoy all the great movies, shows, all the great sports. Still ready, miss baseball, and it just ended 2 seconds ago. My wife is like, "You're crazy that you're so obsessed with it." And have a great weekend. Keep locked. DJ Roscoe Sports Show. For your home for all your sports and entertainment talk right here on DJ Roscoe Sports Show. Have a great weekend. Have a great November, and we'll see you next week. And we'll see you after LA or from La La Land trip. Bye bye.